Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a plan with me and my Wonton and a Million A5 wide inserts. And I am going to be using this Almost There kit from Glam Planner. And it is the bitty size kit because I do have a lot of leftovers. And I'm using it with gold foil. And in this video, I am actually dedicating this spread to my planner best friend. Honestly, she's like my best friend, Alicia. If you guys don't watch her videos or if you guys don't follow her content, you guys wouldn't know how much we mention each other and how much we just like spread our love and affection to each other in our content. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know about that. And yeah, this week was her birthday, so I wanted to go ahead and just dedicate this spread to her because she's been nothing but so great, and she's definitely like one of the best individuals I've met in this community, and I'm so lucky and grateful to call her my best friend, honestly. So I did kind of want to talk about a few things in this plan with me. So first on like how we met, but also if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you guys would not know that I was in a hospital for a little bit over a month ago. I was. And it's just really weird for me to kind of say that. Also, you'll see me struggle with this kit quite a bit and the spread in general because I'm indecisive and I just start moving around things all over the place. It happens. I'm just indecisive like that. So I just wanted to kind of point that out for you guys if you guys are wondering. And the camera was just like not working with me. So if you guys see my hand but not like me putting down stickers at some parts, that's why. So that's that. I also wanted to say if you do follow me on Instagram, I know that the like whole entire medical experience has been like a highly requested video of mine, and as far as like what happened, when did it happen, things like that. And I am obviously not gonna disclose everything with you guys. I just don't feel comfortable enough, and I hope you guys are understandable about that. And I feel like a lot of you guys are extremely understandable about it. So I really appreciate the community so much for being just like so generous about that. But first, I wanted to go ahead and kind of discuss on how Alicia and I met. Also, there's airplanes outside. I swear there's always airplanes in every single video, yo. Like, why? I'm just trying to have a moment with my people. Anyways, so if you guys don't know Alicia Craft, first of all, she is the queen of hauls. The queen herself of hauls. Before actually creating a studygram and creating like planner content, things like that, I was like a huge fan of her videos. I praised her for her hauls because the fact like she has a luxurious collection. I just like not even like seeing a collection video, you're like, I want to see it. You're so curious. And let me tell you guys, her collection is just, it's so beautiful. Also, this part, you can't even see what I'm doing, which is so annoying. But anyways, that is me. I remember it was like almost the end of my summer. And she had tagged me, I think, in the What You're Doing Now tag. I want to say that was it. I'm like not 100% sure. But I do remember, would you shut up? Sorry. There's always airplanes flying and I'm like, stop, I'm trying to have my moment. Okay, so I paused the voiceover for just a tiny bit because the airplanes are like slowly flying away from my house. But anyways, so she tagged me in the What Are You Doing Now tag, I think. And I remember I like slid up and we've just been talking ever since. I mean, that's from my personal perspective. I'm sure she has a different take on it. And I'm sure when she does my birthday spread, which is, it's gonna be a good few weeks from now, guys. She is like, she's like, she just got into January of 2020 for her planner. And I'm like still behind in like the middle of August. So I just decided to do this spread a little bit advanced in time because I just felt like it was more appropriate to do it. And I just wanted to put these stickers down because I have been like so excited to just like play with stickers and like make spreads and put them down because, you know, her birthday was like literally a little over a month ago, so I wanted to go ahead and do that for her. Anyways, so we have been talking pretty much ever since, like, I want to say like July, August, so we definitely have like a huge growth in our friendship, and like I said, I'm extremely grateful to have her in this community. I'm extremely grateful to call her like one of my best friends, and We talk like every single day about anything and everything, and she is one of the most intellectual people I will ever meet. She is the Marlin to my Dory. It's just like a huge it's a huge like inside joke between us, and I don't know if anybody will understand it, but I guess it's like pretty self-explanatory. But I really don't know. I see, this is where my Dory moment comes in. Like, Alicia, I don't know if you're watching this. Like, I literally don't even know like where we got their joke from, but I think it's literally cause I'm a Dory. I have a tendency to forget about things. Can't you guys tell? Oh my gosh, it is crazy. But as you can tell, I was moving the glitter headers at this part. But yeah, that is, I guess that's like pretty much it. All I have to share about Alicia and I and our friendship. But like I said, I'm extremely lucky. I'm extremely grateful that she's one of the best people I've met in this community. And she's been nothing but like such a good best friend for me. My heart. So yeah, also I put this girl on Thursday because it literally resembles her so much. Like, I am not kidding. This girl looks like Alicia so much. And the fact that it's like green, like, I know Alicia's favorite color is green, but I know it's like an emerald green, which I should have like done like specks of emerald in this kit, but I don't have any emerald green foil, so as long as it's green and it has Tiana in it, I'm just like literal like beautifulness. This spread, it's beautiful. So that's pretty much how Alicia and I met. I cannot wait to actually like finally meet her after this whole entire world decides to calm things a little bit down and regulates like seeing people and like capacities. And so in the sidebar, I decided with this like gold label to put down this week that it was Alicia's birthday, and then my habit tracker, I'm honestly not even sure what I'm gonna put there. You'll eventually see it on my Instagram if you guys follow me there. And then every single week I do pay off my credit card, so I just wanted to go ahead and put that in. And then the box below it, I don't even know what I'm going to put there. But I was putting down bougie boxes during this time, and you could just tell that I was not coordinated to film as well. And I didn't recognize that I was like not even showing the camera this until maybe like a few seconds, few minutes in. And I was just like, yo, what the actual heck? Why did I do this? But yeah, that's kind of the story as far as how that all went. Anyways, so I wanted to go ahead and give Alicia just like a little bit of recognition. I know that she has so much growth and potential in this community as well, and I definitely can still say like I'm such a still big fan of her videos. I'll literally be like, when is your haul gonna be up? Because I just love her haul so much. Like, if you guys really want to watch binge haul, like if you guys really want to watch hauls, binge watch hauls, yes, binge watch hauls, yes, that's what I'm trying to say, then I would highly recommend going to her content and just like going through all of it, because that's certainly what I did, not just as a best friend, but like as a literal supporter of hers. So before I decide to get started into this story time, it's so weird calling it a story time, it's more like an experience. I do want to put out a few disclaimers as far as like before I actually kind of explain my story and what has happened and the experience through it. So first of all, please watch this at your own comfort level, and I just want to put that out as a disclaimer because I know some people are very just sensitive to like medical experiences and medical journeys and how everything can go with that. Also, I wanted to go ahead and just say this is just my experiences only. I know everybody has a different experience, and I think some people may not understand what it's like until you're an actual patient yourself. And it's definitely hard. It was definitely an emotional roller coaster for myself, and I'll kind of get into that not only in this first part, but also the second part, which I am probably going to be filming next week, just because I do one spread a week at a time. It's a lot for me because as a student, I mean, I have a busy life, guys. It's really busy. Just gonna put that out there now. It gets really hectic super easily and super fast. And also, if you can't tell that I decided to stand up on my desk and do this spread backwards so my hands look a little bit odd, and it was a lot more easier to do it this way. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. Like, just standing up and actually making it super nice. Like, that is what was super cool about this spread, is like I stood up and just like started sticking things around. It was a lot more easier than what I was doing and sitting down and going over my tripod and just like trying to put the stickers down. This was just a whole bunch easier just standing up on the other side of my desk, because my desk is really small. So anyways, I wanted to go ahead and get started with it because it is a long process and story. And I do want to talk about a little bit of what happened the week before, because the week before kind of goes into what has happened. And it progresses like super, super fast, which is kind of weird to think about. So, growing up, I have always been like a very healthy person. But what the ironic part is that I'm such a germaphobe. It's not even funny. I love places with like the most germs, I guess is what I can say. I love the pool. You guys know that I'm a swimmer. And I love libraries. Tons of germs there, of course. And I can say that I like school just because, like, finally now I'm pursuing what I want to do in my life, and I'm pursuing just like my dreams and my goals and my aspirations. And I hate how that sounds like so cliche, but it really is true. So, continuing on with being a healthy person, which I am extremely grateful about, you know, I don't think everybody is given the opportunity to have a really good immune system. There are people out there that are really unhealthy and they don't have the best immune system out there, and I'm grateful to have like medication provided for me. I'm grateful for so much in my life, but you know, like, I still have to take precautions as an individual and just hold myself accountable as whether or not like I'm keeping myself healthy, I'm keeping myself safe. um so I did mark things in my calendar from last week just to kind of help myself out a little bit when it came to explaining this to like the medical professionals and to my friends. It was a lot more easier for me to kind of indicate like what days that all this had occurred. So I am going to be looking at my calendar, and then I have my bullet journal in front of me, which is so convenient. My bullet journal has changed my life as well, along with my planners, so if you guys don't know that. So pretty much from September 9th through the 13th, I was having like painful visits to the restroom. And I know that's probably like TMI for some people to hear and listen to. Also, sorry if you can hear those airplanes. I started out like having mild like visits. Like, I was visiting the restroom like, okay, like 5-6 times a day. I thought that was like normal. And I was continuing to stay hydrated, things like that. I thought that that was pretty normal because I am always drinking primarily water. And then by the end of the week, Saturday, Sunday, because this was Wednesday through Sunday, the 9th through the 13th, I went as far as like 10 times a day. 10 visits to the restroom a day. That is insane. And it was lucky enough to where I was home. I was still eating normal, like I regulated eating and everything like that. But I definitely tried drinking more water just to flush out the bacteria and everything like that. And I know that probably just sounds weird, but I mean, that's what you have to do. And you just have to take responsibility as far as like you as an individual. So that's what I did. I just started staying hydrated a lot more. I drank like, I think 5 or 6 bottles a day, which was like super good for me at least. So I decided to go ahead and I wanted to mark that in my sidebar just to like, I figured out in that little box to just put down that I'm going to stay hydrated, because that's pretty much what I primarily did this week. So that's what all happened last week. So now we're in the week, this is the 14th through the 20th, and I kind of wanted to explain what had happened this week, and it was definitely like a huge roller coaster. I also forgot to mention that I did let my mom and my sister know on Sunday that I was having these like frequent visits to the restroom and everything like that, and my mom was like, okay, maybe you have like a mild infection, and I didn't really think too much of it. And I don't think a lot of people think too much of it, especially when you don't get sick. You never think too much of, oh my gosh, like something so much worse can happen to you. So I feel like I'm doing a podcast when I'm talking to you guys, but I also feel like I'm doing like a story time one-on-one, which is like, I feel more intimate, which is super great. So I'm going to get started with Monday the 14th. I also forgot to tell you guys, if you guys have any questions as far as like where the stickers are from, just leave a comment down below or just DM me on Instagram. You guys know how to hit me up, right? I hope. But if you don't, just feel free to ask. I hope I'm not scary, but let's go ahead and enter in like this week, because this is like the first part, and then the 21st through the 27th. Yeah, that was next week. The next week I'm planning for you guys. So anyways, so on Monday, I pretty much started off my day with feeling this burning sensation in my stomach. I don't want to say it was my stomach, but it was definitely like my lower abdominal area that I was just having like these like burning sensation. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, my stomach is burning. It feels like it's on fire. I feel like I'm in a volcano. And I didn't really want to say it was my stomach because it was like my whole lower abdominal area, definitely. And it was worse than cramps. So just gonna put that out there. It was like 3 times worse than cramps. It's like it was insane. So I decided to go ahead and put that down. And then I also decided to edit my resume this day. I honestly don't know why I did, but I wanted to put that down. So I put it down, and I don't remember why I needed to edit my resume. Like I said, this happened like a whole month ago. So I don't know, guys. I just decided to edit my resume this day, and then I had some PRM assignments due this day, which is my recreations class. So I'm waiting for my paper shower stickers to come in to use them and put them in the spread. So unfortunately, I don't have them to put in the spread right now at this instance, but they're super cute. They're like the playground ones, and I had to ask Zenny, the owner, like, where are these stickers at? And she like couldn't find them either, and I was like searching through her shop the whole entire time, like, oh my gosh, where is it? So I found them and I ordered them. They should be here in a few weeks, hopefully. I'm hopefully thinking they will. I don't know. And then I put down that I had a quiz, I think, for my medical class. I think it was for my medical class. I had so many quizzes due this day that I was just like, oh my gosh, forget about it. So for lunch, because I was not that hungry, because my stomach was like, it was flaming. It was insane. I decided to have a peanut butter and banana smoothie. I love my NutriBullet. I'm not even sponsored by them, but like, hey, NutriBullet, if you want to hit me up. So I had a peanut butter and banana smoothie, and it was pretty good. Like, my dad thinks it's gross, but I think it's like super good. I think peanut butter has protein in it, which is super nice. So I just kind of think about it that way. I'm getting protein. And then to end off my day, I decided to do some biolabs and quizzes, because that's just the best way to end off your day when you're just like, I'm done with this day. My stomach is just, my lower area, whatever it was at the time, like, felt like it was on fire. Put that down. And then I think I just emailed some professors out there. I don't remember who exactly I emailed, but I think I just put down that I emailed. I don't know. I put down in my bullet journal I emailed professors, but I really don't know what I did that day, to be honest with you. So that was all on Monday. And I don't think I'm going to mark it in my planner, but I also did kind of inform my dad, like, my lower area is, like, not my lower area, but my lower stomach area is feeling like it's on fire. And he had thought that I ate something spicy, and I'm like, Dad, I never really eat anything spicy. And if I do, like, I drink a lot of water. Like, we're talking a lot. Like, I can chug down, like, 2 bottles. That's not even trying to brag. Like, I literally have to do it, because either I'm just like a crybaby, or just like, I don't know what it is. I burn up. And I'm sure if I ate spicy food while my stomach was burning, girl, that would have not been good. So that happened. So moving on to the 15th, I am putting down that I woke up with a big headache. I don't know. I think there's like a headache and a migraine, but it felt like a headache to me because I never really get headaches, you know. So I put down that I had a headache this day. It was, oh my god, I didn't really feel disoriented, but I felt like I didn't want to do anything. So I decided to also put down that I felt so sick this day. I don't know what was in me, but I felt sick. Like, I started to feel like the symptoms of being sick. Like, you're lazy, you feel fatigue, and yeah, I definitely didn't feel like nauseous or anything, but I just felt like sick. Like, I knew it was hitting me a little bit more. So then I decided to also put down that I had a CRJ assignment due this day. Or not, was it due this day? No. We got the assignment, like, prompted to us this day. And normally my assignments get posted for my criminal justice course either on, like, Tuesday or the day before Wednesday. And they're due Thursday. But it's, like, not that bad. So then I decided to, I guess I think my dad and my sister went to McDonald's and they picked up some McDonald's for us. So that was really sweet. And then I think that I did have to get some documents signed this day for something, and I don't remember specifically what it was, but I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And then the last thing I just wanted to put down was like, I just kind of needed to motivate myself to just kind of hang in there still. Like, this day was full of headaches, and I felt like I still couldn't get out of bed, but you know, I still felt okay, but I started to feel sick. Like, I just had really mixed symptoms about everything. So then on Wednesday, I woke up and my body decided, I guess, that, oh, my headache is gone. But my lower stomach area is starting to hurt again. So I don't know what was going on, but it really decided to hurt, and it was burning. Like, there's just no other way to put it. Like, my headache was still like lightly there. Like, I could feel like it was the back of my head, you know, like when you lay down on something like really rock hard, like that's how it felt. Like, it felt sore, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know how else to describe it, but it felt really sore. So I woke up and my lower area stomach, it was hurting. So I wanted to go ahead and put that down. Don't know what sticker I'm going to put down for that yet, but you'll eventually see it because I am filming this voiceover before I see all the stickers put on my spread for life. So then I had so many papers this day. It was insane. It was insane of how many papers I had this day. I think I had like 2 or 3 papers due this day for my I want to say it was for my recreation class. That's what I put down. Yeah, it was for my recreations class this day. And again, my lower abdominal area is still in pain. Like, very, very painful. I don't know how else to describe it other than the fact it was way worse than cramps. Like, so much more worse than cramps. So then I put down that we got Chick-fil-A because I don't know if it was Tuesday. I was like, oh my gosh, I want Chick-fil-A. And so my mom went to go pick my sister and I up some Chick-fil-A, which was so sweet of her. And I most certainly did not get waffle fries. It was the breakfast. That's all I knew. Because I was watching like a ton of food videos this day, and I just love watching food videos. If you guys don't know, food is love. Food is life, man. So I just decided, you know what? I want Chick-fil-A. So I decided to put that down. And then I did have a PAB meeting to end off my night because I think that's like basically what happened. We always have PAB meetings on Wednesdays, I think, like an all-staff one, and that's pretty much like my event coordinator job, and there's like a lot of like, I wouldn't say there's a lot of people, but there's a lot of responsibilities just because like we basically plan on events for students because we're the students, if that makes sense. It's a whole long spiel pretty much, but I'm just so grateful to have like such a good team, and I'm like the little baby in the organization, so I just think about it that way. And then I am gonna be putting down this turtle that says not my day because that was me trying to get out of bed and looking at my feet like, oh my gosh, why? So Thursday, let me just begin by saying this was an interesting day. First of all, it was Alicia's birthday. Woo! So, yeah, it was Alicia's birthday on Thursday, so I wanted to go ahead and put that down again because she is my love. So, pretty much, she's my love. So, I wanted to go ahead and put that down. And then I had a psych discussion board due this day because I think, my psych discussion boards open up on Thursday, I think. There are some courses, like for me at least personally, I know this is like a huge tangent from like my medical experience, but pretty much my psych assignments open up on Thursday, I think. So I have to wait till then, which is like kind of annoying, but I have to kind of wait until then. And then after doing that, like I want to say like even after a few hours after I woke up, I started experiencing very, very bad side pain, specifically on my left. So I was like, why am I having side pains just on one side now? which I thought was weird. So I couldn't even lay down on that side without feeling like I was like rupturing or like pressuring it too much. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was my stomach. I didn't know if it was an organ or like what it could have been, but I couldn't really put too much pressure on my left side. I even walking, I couldn't do it. So it was mild. It wasn't like so entirely bad that it prevented me to like get up and do things, but it definitely like hurt when I was laying down on its side or like adding more pressure, so I knew something was wrong. So then I decided to put down that I am a fucking crybaby. I guess I shouldn't say that word, but I am an effing crybaby. I thought the sticker was applicable because I was literally a crybaby. And then I think this was the day I think that I was on the phone with Brennan, like in the afternoon or like in the morning before my mom went to work, and my mom literally told Brennan that Sage is like the biggest crybaby, and I'm like, oh my gosh, thanks, because I was like literally sweating about like I was really hot, and Brennan was like just like smiling there because we were like FaceTiming and stuff, and he was just like like he really doesn't do much like when we're FaceTiming, which I think is so funny, but at least when my mom is there, because he's something else. He's quite the character. So yeah, so I laid down in bed for a little bit, and then while I was laying down in bed, my mom was trying to figure out how to set up a dang doctor's appointment virtually because I didn't want to go to the hospital, the doctors. I didn't want to go to the doctors, so pretty much we were trying to set it up, and we were informed that every single time you called that you had to pay, which was really annoying. So I put down that me and my mom were just so annoyed. And this was like after I got off the phone with Brendan, I think, or it might have been after. I really don't remember, like I said, but I knew that it happened. But we were trying to figure it out, and eventually we were just like, frick it, just like, my mom set up an appointment Friday the next day to go actually see a doctor, which I was fine with, but I didn't feel confident to go just because I felt so sick. I didn't feel contagious, but I felt sick. So then I decided to kind of end off this day by putting down that I had to write some medical papers. I was going to go to another meeting at like 7 o'clock for something for another organization, but I was like, forget it. There's just no way I can like get myself into doing that. And then I decided to get Salad and Go this day, which is so flipping good. I actually I live actually super close to a Salad and Go, and I've seen it around like so much, and I've never tried it, but their salads are so good. Like, I love salads, but like their salads just like hit the spot different. I don't know how else to describe it, but it really, really does. So I also have a This Sucks Booty Cheeks script I want to use. Because if you guys don't know, I literally say that all the time. Like, if you're really close to me, like, if you're like my homegirl, if you're my home slice, you know, I literally always say that. Like, everything just like, especially during this week, it sucked booty cheeks. I don't know how else to describe it. It just, oh my gosh. It was insane. I'm a cheerleader. Woo! So, yeah, that was insane. So, moving on, I am going on to Friday, the 18th. Wow, it's so weird saying this out loud, like actually doing a story time. So I woke up this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get up, because my mom she booked the appointment for me at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and somebody's lawn mowing outside, so I am so sorry. So I went to sleep fine this night, but I went to sleep like as if, why do I have to get up in the morning? Like, I don't want to get up, you know? So I almost had to force myself getting out of bed. But I started to feel better. So I decided to put this, like, feeling good sticker because I started to feel good. It started to feel good. Yes. So I went to the doctor's, and there was actually, like, was it a student? I think she was a student. So I had my primary care provider, like my doctor. And then I had like I don't really want to call her an assistant because she was like still like in, I don't know if it's like, no, they're not called practicals. I'm not really good with like medical terminology, like I said. But I do know that there's a specific term for like medical students to where they do have to get that like hands-on experience for the field that they are going into. So like, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called clinicals. I don't 100% know. I don't think that's the term that they use, but I do know that medical students have to like obtain that. as experience. So anyways, just wanted to put that out there. I didn't really want to put that in my planner, but I thought it was super interesting just to like see like my doctor providers like actually doing that, and I just like I praise them for doing that. So the doctor of course asked me all these like symptoms and things like that, like what's going on, and just like pretty generic questions. And the number one question I really just like was like, what the actual heck, was, are these menstrual cramps? And I'm like, sir, ma'am, it was definitely not. Like, I personally, as like a person in my own body, I don't think I would consider these menstrual cramps. Like, it was something. Oh my god, it was definitely not menstrual cramps. I'll tell you guys that. So I told my doctor that, and he was just like, okay. Like, he seemed really, really calm about it, but like I was just like, I know it's not that. So they decided to do, like, I know it's probably TMI, guys, but like they had to do it just to like make sure I was okay. So they did have to do a urine test this day, which I did not mark in my planner. I don't like marking urine tests in my planner because like I already know. And then they did have to do blood tests on me, which in the second part of this plan with me, I'm not kidding, they had to do blood tests like half the week too, like so much, like so much. So by the end of like all of this, they probably had taken at least 15 to 20 bottles of blood away from me, which was insane. That's an insane amount of blood. For I think this appointment they took, I think only 3 or 4 bottles, vitals. I think they're called vitals, right? They're called vitals. So after I got like my urine test done, they like diagnosed me with like an infection. So they did put me on some antibiotics, and I totally forgot to mention that I had texted my other best friend Sarah the day before, or Wednesday I think, about my symptoms, because she is studying to be like a PA or doctor. So she kind of like told me already what infection I had, and I was like, okay, cool. So like I already know what to expect, what prescription and antibiotic to get. So the doctor did prescribe me that prescription, which was like super duper interesting. I didn't really think it was like legit, but I mean, I guess like it's pretty interesting. Like I praise Sarah so much for like knowing so much medical stuff, and I don't even know if she's watching this, but like yeah, she's like my other best friend I do mention a lot, and I can't wait to meet her too. But yeah, so they did give me the results about having a certain infection, and they gave me antibiotics, and I was just very relieved about it. Like I was like, whew. Like I had like weight lifted upon my shoulders because I had a little bit of closure. I knew what I was expecting. I knew that I was going to start feeling better. But then things didn't turn out the way that they did, which was kind of really weird to think about, but I mean, that happened. So we left the doctor's appointment, and my sister really, really wanted Whataburger, because on the way home there was Whataburger, and I was like, okay, sure, like why not? So I decided to only get a milkshake because that was the only thing I wanted. I love milkshakes, and I live in a hot state, so of course I need a milkshake. Like my milkshake, okay, I don't want to get copyrighted, but you know, like that vine, like so yeah, I got home, and I didn't want to mark this in my planner, but I did have to submit some like more paperwork. Life as a student, man, you're gonna submit all the paperwork electronically, but you're not killing trees, which is like super nice. So yeah, I ended up getting extremely tired. I guess like I wasn't tired, I was like fatigued, because I think I got like quite a bit of blood taken out of me that I was just like, oh, I can't do this. But I never get lightheaded whenever I get blood taken out of me, you know? Like, that was the weird side effect that just hit me like a train. Like, I get like a mild headache, which I knew that was normal. So I got like a headache, because when I had gotten my flu shot, I got like a headache, and I was a little tired, like a little, like, but I wasn't at the point where I felt like so weak. But this day I just felt so weak, and everything was going downhill, and so that happened. Yeah. So then I totally forgot to mention that my mom tried picking up the medication before we had gotten home. And we were just so annoyed because it wasn't completed. And I think the doctor told us that it would be completed in like an hour. And the doctor's is like, I think like 40 minutes away from my house, from our home, pretty much. So we went to go get food just to, like, you know, spare that time. But it wasn't done, so my mom had to go pick it up after work. But anyways, I thought the vanilla with the clock was so cute. So anyways, continuing on, after I went home and I was tired, I had a headache, I took a nap just to, like, see if it would feel better. But it didn't. My headache, like, had gotten worse. I felt a lot worse. Like, I knew ever since they drew out my blood, everything went downhill. Like, I knew everything went downhill. So eventually I had to get my thermometer to check my temperature. And I had a fever. So I never get fevers. I never get sick. So I was like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me. What's going on? My body. Why? So yeah, I knew something was wrong with me. And so I didn't find out until, like, maybe, like, later what was, like, going on, because I actually, like I said, I consulted my, like, one of my other best friends, Sarah, because she's, like, a medical expert. So I was pretty much, this is the day that my uncontrollably shaking started to occur, and I do need to get more of these, like, munchkins, but they're the ones with, like, inside, like, the little, like, ice cube, and this was, like, the best way to describe how I felt. If you guys aren't familiar with riggers, they are pretty much like where you uncontrollably, like, I felt like I was uncontrollably shaking. Now, I know that there's other, like, medical definitions of it, which I'll leave those in the description box below, but that is generally what happens when you have a fever, is when your body just starts to, like, chill up. For some odd reason, I don't, like I said, I'm not good with medical terminology, but from my understanding, that's what had happened to me, because I had a fever and it was just an infection, but it was a common infection that I think a lot of people have, so I didn't really think too much of it. And my doctor had also didn't think too much of it either. He seemed, like, really calm about it, and then I think that we had gotten a call back about the fact that I think my mom, like, called me, like, after I was, like, having, like, rickers and stuff, that I had to get an ultrasound done, which was, like, so weird, like, oh my god, like, oh my word, like, what, like, oh. I'm, like, laughing at myself because I was on the phone and I was like, oh, we're getting one of those done, whoa, okay. So yeah, I found out after that I had to get an ultrasound done, and my doctor had thought it was something to do with my spleen, which is around my stomach, but I knew, like, it wasn't my stomach. Like, I felt like I could eat still a little bit. But yeah, I did have, like, episodes of, like, rigors more often, which basically, for me personally, mine would be, like, my body felt so cold. Like, I felt like I was, like, in an ice shock. And then I knew my body was hot, because, like, I touched my body and I'm like, wow, I am burning. And then I'm, like, sweating like crazy, and I don't know if that's, like, the side effect of, like, having one, or, like, a fever or whatnot, because, like, I don't really go through the stage of having a fever, so, you know, I didn't really know. Everything's kind of just, like, hitting back at me, so I'm, like, on autopilot, just, like, telling you guys how I am, and, like, my story and everything in that, but I was, like, uncontrollably shaking, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is, like, insane. Like, I would be, like, a minute, and then I had my Apple Watch on me, and it would check my heart rate. And I remember at the doctor's office that I told my doctor, like, hey, I think my heart rate's going up, because it was, like, at the doctor's, it was, like, at a 100, like, 110, which is, like, I feel like when you go to the doctor's, like, obviously you're going to be nervous, so I didn't really think too much of it, so I was like, yeah, but you'll sooner find out, like, in my, like, next few days, my heart rate goes, like, increasingly high. Like, I'm not kidding. And that's why I find my Apple Watch is so very convenient for me. I know everybody uses it, and I'm not sponsored by them either, but yeah, oh my gosh, it was insane. So I couldn't do anything more this day because I felt so sick. I took some medication. I took my antibiotic, because my mom had finally picked it up, and then, they told me that I was staying hydrated enough, because, like, they call and, like, they give you your results a little bit in depth, but then I don't think the blood one comes until, like, the next following week, so I didn't really know about those, but they only gave me, like, a vague description of, like, what had happened, and, like, basically I didn't read like my results of it until I had gotten home. So until I like actually was like laying in bed and stuff. So I'm just kind of like telling you guys this now. But yeah, I was staying like very, very hydrated, like I said, and even the test show. But yeah, they found out a lot more about like how I was at that condition than what I expected. So to end off the day, I just put down, just leave me the F alone, because like I knew like I just, oh my gosh, I just, ooh, I couldn't really do much. I didn't feel like doing a lot at all. I just wanted to lay down in bed. My mobility was just, it was insane, and so I kept consulting Google, like, hey, what the frick is wrong with me? Like, is this normal to have these type of symptoms during this infection? And Google said yes, and I was like, I'm normally never sick, so I don't know. So I progressed on to Saturday the 19th, which I pretty much kind of slept in this day, which was kind of nice. I definitely didn't have insomnia until like the night of this day, but you know, that happened. So I started to feel a lot more sick, like a lot more sick. Like it progressed so much. I don't even know how to describe it to you guys. It really did, that I started to have a lot more episodes of rigors a lot more often. It would be like every hour or two, just having like one episode. And I just like, I don't like calling it episodes, because then that sounds like more traumatizing for me to like say and like listen to. But it felt so surreal. It felt like an out of a body experience when you had one. And if you've had one before, you know when like you're cold and you're like, oh my gosh, I need a blanket. But for me, I'm like on a roller coaster. Like that's pretty much like the, like, you know, like the shakiness of a roller coaster. Like that's how you feel, pretty much. And like you're just like, yeah, pretty much you're like, you feel really cold, but your body's really hot, you know? So that's how I felt for most of the day. And then I tried eating sushi this day. And my dad, like, he knows, like, I love sushi. I love sushi so much. And that's why he got it. So I could only eat 2 pieces, and then I had to grab a bag because I felt so nauseous. Like, I was gagging, which sounds so disgusting saying it out loud. But, I mean, it happened because you feel really nauseous. Like, I started gagging, but, like, I feel like for me, I have a very strong reflex, so I don't necessarily like gag as much as I would normally think. But oh my gosh, it was, yeah. Yeah, so I put down that I almost threw up this day because it really happened. It was really bad. I mean, I almost threw up, and I was hurting all this day. And then I do remember, like, I know I haven't mentioned it as much, but I did want to put down this day specifically that I was FaceTiming Brennan, like my boyfriend, because he's never seen me this sick. And I think for like a significant other to see you sick, it's like, it's really, really odd. Oh, I just cracked my jaw, guys. Oh, that hurt. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys didn't hear that. I'm sorry if you did. But he like, it was weird because he still saw me the same, like, he's like, oh, I still think you're, like, really pretty, beautiful, blah, blah, you know how it is, but if you've been in a relationship before, but yeah, he was still being, like, his genuine self, and, like, still being very supportive, and he, like, knew I was gonna get better, and, like, I told him, like, yeah, I'm gonna get better, because there would be times where, like, oh, my fever was, like, at, like, a 102, 103, but then it went down to like a 100, and then it spiked up, and it spiked down, and I'm like, when is this roller coaster gonna end? And it never ended, until like a few days after I seeked medical attention, of course. But yeah, so that happened Saturday, and yeah, I should have like told you guys that he was like FaceTiming me for a good majority of the time, just because like he knew how severely sick I was. He saw how severely sick I was. So I pretty much just ended off the day like going to sleep really, really early. I call like 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock very early for me, because that's like when my younger sister goes to sleep as well. Like we pretty much go to sleep all at the same time at that rate. But like normally I'm the night owl, but like all my family are like morning people. They're all morning people. I'm like the insomnia that stays up. So this was the night that my insomnia started to begin. I would be up all day, all night. I remember waking up this day at like 12 o'clock and then 3 a.m. And then I posted on my Instagram like, hey guys, I am going through like a lot of medical procedures. I just really hope that you guys all understand. And I, as a young person that like, I never get sick. I really appreciate if you guys can send me all the love, and thank you guys so much for just sticking with me pretty much. So I post that, and you guys are just so, oh my gosh, I'm literally gonna cry, because the fact that I got at least almost 40 to 50 people messaging me on that Instagram, on my studygram specifically, just comes to show how like we come together as a community, like taking care of one another. And it really just like made me think like, oh my gosh, there's so many people that like care about me, and it's not just like, like Brennan and like my family and like my friends. There's so much more out there, and I appreciate you guys so much for giving me the opportunity and platform for that. So I literally got up at 3 a.m. and I remember like just my mom would like give me like dosages of medication, just feeding me it, and like it was insane because I had to take medication like on and on and on just to like make sure the fever would go down and make sure I was regulating my drinking habits and still taking the right amount of dosage and make sure I'm not overdosing on any medication that I wasn't supposed to. But yeah, so this was like the night / like day that I had gotten medication, and so I remember waking up at like 3 a.m. and I just like, I started uncontrollably shaking. Like it was so bad. And then I think like my mom came into my room, gave me some medication, and then like I think a few minutes after my mom left, and then my dad came in and was like, hey, do we like me to take you to the hospital? Because like I feel like my mom and my dad, basically my dad was like being a little bit more persistent about taking me to like the emergency room and everything like that. And I was like, Dad, like, I think I'm okay. Like, I can tough it out until, like, the following Tuesday, which was when I was supposed to get my ultrasound done. And he was like, okay, well, you think you can do it? And then he came into my room, like, an hour later, and he's like, you need to go to sleep. And I'm like, I can't go to sleep. Like, my body just doesn't want to. And it was, like, I think it was, like, 4:30 or, like, 5 a.m. I was still up, and I just, like, I couldn't go to sleep. Like, I told you guys, I have insomnia whenever I'm sick, too, so yeah, it was, oh my gosh, I just uncontrollably shaked, and oh my gosh, it was like a whole episode again, the same thing happening over and over and over. But yeah, eventually I fell asleep, and then I woke up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock on Sunday. This was like Sunday morning, Saturday night, So, Sunday morning, I really didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do anything. I did not want to get up. I was not energized. I felt so cold. There was just not enough for me to like get the energy and strength to be like, yes, let's start this day right. No, I wish I was more energetic. And I feel like a lot of you guys know me. Like, I'm just like, I try to be like as bubbly and very genuine as possible with you guys, and like very open. Like, hey guys, this is like a podcast kind of vibe. But yeah, I couldn't get up this day. So then I put down that I had gotten rushed to like this like urgent care emergency room facility. Basically they were like linked to an emergency room. I don't know how to explain it. Like they could like transfer you to emergency. They want emergency to the hospital. I don't know what I'm saying. Guys, it's been a day. So I got fluids, and then fluids as in like they literally stuck an IV in my arm, and then I posted it on Instagram. And what is so funny is that I find it so just hilarious that like only like one person on my personal Instagram reached out to me, and it was one of my college friends. Nobody else reached out to me. Nobody else. But my studygram, there were like an extra like probably like 5 or 10 more people that saw my story and like slid up and were like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, what's going on? So I found that more funny just because you would think like my personal account, they'd reach out, but they didn't. Maybe it was like at the wrong place, wrong time kind of thing, but still, it is what it is. Then I got an x-ray done. Whoop, whoop. So I got I think it was oh my gosh, I keep forgetting, but was it a CAT scan or was it an MRI? It was one of the two, so I got one of those done. I don't have my x-ray stickers right now, from paper shire as well, so I am waiting for those right now, and I am just like, come on, I want my paper shire sticker so I can complete this spread, make it look super cute, you know? So, so I decided to put that down because I thought it was memorable, I think is the word I'm looking for. Yes, I think it is. So then I, of course, had to get another blood drawing. Oh, the excitement on blood drawing again. And this was like another 3 tubes. And then, of course, they had to do another urine test. But let me tell you guys, when I saw my urine in the morning, it was not cute. It was definitely a lot more worse than when I went to my first doctor. Oh my gosh, I could tell the difference. It was bad. Like, I knew there was something wrong with me, and it was really bad. So they eventually told me, like, yeah, what happened. So anyways, so we got all that done. So then we had to wait for my, like, CAT scan or, like, MRI to, like, be evaluated by, like, a medical professional. I think there was, like, one doctor in there. So, like, obviously I had to explain my symptoms and everything of that nature to, like, I think it was, like, 2 nurses and then, like, a doctor. And so I did. And then the doctor came in, like, about, like, half hour, 45 minutes later, and kind of explained to my mom and I, because my dad unfortunately couldn't come with us just because the pandemic makes it so much more harder for the amount of people to, like, go with you. So, like, obviously it, like, really sucks because, like, you want both your parents to be there and you want both of them to be there, you want your whole family to be there, but they can't. And that's something I'll get into the second part about a little bit more, but this was, like, the whole, like, before experience. So they let me know that I had, like, a very, 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 like, I don't want to emphasize this, but it has to be. It was serious. They called it a severe / serious / medically attention infection. I don't exactly want to say what infection it was, but it was something internal. It was not something that I could spread easily to anybody. So that was really good to kind of hear. And like I said, I thought I had relief from my first doctor, but the antibiotics that I was prescribed were ineffective because of the fact that my infection had spread a lot more to my body than what it could have. I almost had an infection where it was life-threatening if I went in, I think, like 2 or 3 days after, which was insane to, like, think about. It's so surreal just, like, hearing, like, I could have had a life-threatening condition. But I am lucky enough that my parents were, like, getting me the attention that I needed now. So when I found out, I also found out that I had to go to the hospital, which is never exciting because I feel like, not a lot of people like the hospital. And especially during this time, it's a lot harder to see your family, see your friends, have that advantage to connect and, have somebody there. Not supervise you, really, but keep you occupied while you're in a hospital. So it's definitely a lot more harder for me to just comprehend the fact that I'm going to the hospital. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be independent. So, yeah. So I got to the hospital, and my mom, like, drove me there. And let me tell you, we went there. This is so, oh my gosh. So they told us basically at, like, urgent care emergency room area, they told us pretty much, like, if we were to drive there ourselves, they're gonna tell you to, like, enter in, like, this one area and then you'll be able to go. But when we got to that one area at the hospital, they were like, no, you're in the wrong area, you have to go to this area. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I guess I gotta go. So my mom, like, eventually drove, I think, like, a street over to, like, the actual building that they supposedly, quote unquote, like, had my, like, check-in and, like, my bed, blah blah blah. So it's like, okay, whatever, it's fine. So then we were just kind of like annoyed with that. We were like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm sick. And like everybody in the lobby when I walked in and trying to tell them like, hi, I'm the patient. Like there were like a ton of like adults in there. I'm like a little baby. Like what? Like, do you guys see my point? Like this is why I call myself a baby, because there was like so many adults in this facility. I'm not kidding. Like I just felt like a little bean. I call myself a bean. I don't know. So yeah, so when we got to the other facility, I was put in a wheelchair, which was like, whoop whoop, like you're in your own whip. That's what it's called. When you're in your own whip, like whip, and you get pushed around by somebody. You're not like, well, literally, but not like metaphorically. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah, like. Yeah, it's not good when you literally get pushed around, but like in a wheelchair it was fun. So I put down that I had wheelchair time because that was like super fun. And then I think I put down that I was asked like a few questions because yeah, they had to ask me a whole bunch of series of questions, and the nurse that was asking questions was like, these are going to be very, very personal questions, so do you want your mom here? And I'm like, are they really that personal? Like, really? And then she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, my mom can be in here. It's whatever. And, they weren't even that bad. They weren't even that bad. For me, at least. Just because, maybe because, like, I don't do much with my life but play with my stickers, pretty much. That sounds so sad, but, like, it's the honest reality, man. Like, it really do me like that sometimes. But, yeah. So sorry about that pause. My home phone started ringing. So anyways, so the questions were not that bad that were asked for me personally. I don't know, I didn't think they were that bad. So yeah, that happened. Woo, it happened. And they pretty much asked me like if I had any symptoms of like, you know, COVID. And I was like, So, like, they ask you pretty much, like, do you have shortness of breath? Do you have, like, chest pain? Do you have, like, what are the other ones? Like, any bowel problems? Like, the list can go on, right? So, like, once you say, like, yes to one of them, yeah, that, let me tell you guys, that was a roller coaster, too. So, they had to take a COVID test on me. So I really wanted to mark that because I never got a COVID test done, but, like, everybody I knew said it was so bad, and I'm like, dude, it's, like, not even that bad. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe just I have a tolerance for getting Q-tips stuck up my nose, I don't know, but, yo, it wasn't that bad. Like, it wasn't that bad. And, like, going in prior before going in, I, like, knew I didn't have it because my family wasn't infected. I was not contagious. And everything, like I said, was internal. So it wasn't as bad. So I was like, oh, it's alright, it's alright. So I had to get that test done. And then after that test, I got, I think it was like a lung or like chest x-ray CAT scan done. There was like another lady that came in and then got me an ultrasound. I think I got an ultrasound done. I'm not kidding, but I got so much stuff done this day, guys. It was insane. I got a lot of stuff done this day. And there's just stuff like I didn't mark in my planner just because like I either didn't have enough or I didn't really want to or I didn't have the stickers, and if I did, like I don't know if I have enough room or anything. So then last thing they decided to do was like a blood culture test, which if you guys aren't familiar with like that, it's pretty much like a test to indicate like if anything happens to your blood in the next few days. So I think they took like, how many bottles? 6 or 7. They took 6 or 7 vitals of blood. Oh my gosh. I looked at it like right next to me. Like I didn't look at the fact that like the nurse was like taking it out and whatnot, but I saw her like draining it into like these weird like glass bottles that looked really, really similar to like not soda bottles, like beer bottles, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't really know what else to call them, but they were just like these long big tubes that she would just like transfer my blood in, and it would just like change color, and I'm like, ooh, like that's kind of cool, but like I'm not a huge fan of blood, so I had to put down that I got blood taken out. So that happened. Then I dressed up in a hospital gown. This was like, they made me dress up in a hospital gown. Ooh, and that was, oh my gosh, I really didn't want to do that. And then, oh my gosh, I don't even want to begin, but the nurse that like stuck my IV in, that hurt like a freaking, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I was like holding and like really, really like crunching. I don't know what the word is, but I was just like holding on to like my blanket, like, oh my freaking goodness, it's hurting me like crazy. When the nurse, like, she stuck it right in my arm. It was insane. Like, it was, holy moly, it was so painful. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. So once they stuck the IV into me, they said, guess what, Sage, you're gonna have to go to the COVID facility for the night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Not that I wanted to. I didn't really have a choice, but they did have to take precautions. So we are getting to the end of this plan with me, and I know that this was like a long story, but I know next week's hopefully won't be as long as this, but I know a lot of you guys have been really interested as far as knowing. So I ended off my night with FaceTiming my friends and family. I contacted Brennan's family. I contacted Cassie and Dom this day because I haven't talked to them for like almost 2 months at this rate about. And then I contacted my family, like just like my immediate family, and then my other extended family, just to kind of let them know what had happened, because they were extremely shocked that I was even in the hospital. And to just kind of also interrupt this, I remember my mom went in to the COVID facility. It was like around 4 o'clock. They kicked her out at like 4:10, like 10 minutes. And they were like all afraid that I had it. And I'm like, I know I don't have it. Like, I got all my tests done. But I mean, like, I understand. Like, everybody has to take precaution during this time. So I wasn't really thinking too much of it. But yeah, so. And then for dinner, I just had like some salad and I stayed hydrated. And I think that is pretty much how I'm going to be ending off this plan with me. I know that this was like very, very unorganized, but I will be continuing on with Monday through the rest of next week that I'm planning, which I believe is the 21st through the 27th, I think, is what I'm planning. But thank you guys again for allowing me to share my story throughout this time. I know that it's really, really hard. I have sat here for like a good 40 minutes explaining my story, doing this voiceover, and I'm actually doing this prior to when I'm actually making this spread and putting down all the stickers. But I do have all the stickers in front of me already like laid out and everything, just to kind of make myself a little bit more organized. Again, thank you guys so much for all your supports, and this was like the before, and then I'll tell you guys about after next week. Again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Again, I know that this was an extremely long plan with me, but I know a lot of you guys have been really highly requesting me to kind of share my story and everything about what has been going on in my life. I know that right now life is just uncertain for everybody, but at this time, like for me, it was really uncertain because I've never been so medically concerned about myself. And it's just such a surreal thing, and this has definitely changed my life. So yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next plan with me, just to kind of discuss on what else has happened. But I think that's about it for this plan with me. Again, sorry that it was so long, but I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me do this spread. And I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys!